Today I fucked up by accidentally showing my entire college Zoom class my genitals. My GF and I live in an apartment together. We both happen to be in a lot of the same classes because we're in the same major. This is how we met each other. All of our classes are online this semester. We have a class with this super cool professor, where we don't really do a lot of physical work until the end of the semester. I knew this because I had the same teacher for the part 1 of this class last semester. My GF and I, who are both super introverted, and physically insecure some degree, take advantage of these online classes, like many, and stay in bed, walk around undressed, hair messy, etc. We almost never turn on our cameras unless necessary or unless we're in a class that requires a ton of active participation. Even still, we're always attentive. Anyways, the other day I was lying in bed, naked, with my morning Zoom class on my phone. My girlfriend likes using her computer for Zoom, so she was in our media office on the same Zoom call. My professor was starting to wrap things up with class, so I thought I'd get out of bed and say good morning to my woman. I walk into the room to see her doing her taxes on her PC, assuming she'd already left the Zoom call or she just wasn't really focused on class anymore. I walk up to her and say hi. Give her a kiss on the forehead. She looks up to me and gives me a hug from her seat. I kinda stand there idling for a few moments while asking her what she'd been up to on her PC. She explains what she's doing, etc., etc. She then switches tabs back to the Zoom class to reveal that she actually had her webcam on, for the first time in God knows how long, and all I see are a mix of horror, laughter, and my own dick and balls right in front of the camera. And it had been there for a good minute or so. Obviously, I tried to hide while my girlfriend turned off her camera. I was so angry because I was like, how TF did you forget your cam was on for that long? Though, I can't fully pin it on her because I shouldn't have assumed it would have been off. My professor didn't see me in time, but he was questioning students about why they were suddenly laughing. In the end, I owned up to it and jokingly said, dang, my nudes are on the web now. My bad. I figured owning it was less embarrassing than trying to pretend it didn't happen. I would rather laugh with them than have random rumors spread. Plus, I got a lot of laughs out of it, so there's that. Regardless of how I handled it though, it has low-key been weighing on my mind for the past few days and IDK what to even do about it. I feel super insecure. My whole class just saw my penis. I can only hope nobody had time to record me. I'm also a big club leader for one of the majors programs, so there's no getting out of showing my face at least a few times per week. I'm trying to just accept it for what it is. BC, I know it isn't the end of the world, but it's just tough right now. My GF feels really bad and keeps wanting to make up for it, but nothing she does right now will burn that feeling out of my brain. Love her to death though, and I know she wouldn't have done it on purpose. Too long didn't read. I stood in front of my GF's active Zoom class webcam, butt naked in front of our classmates for a good minute. People laughed. I'm an introvert, so it's been heavy on my mind for 2 days. I don't want to show my face. My GF feels horrible about it and I'd cow to make her feel better about it. Fuck it dude, you weathered the storm already. Showed a class full of people your cock, and received no real punishment for it. Any further time wasted on worrying about it is exactly that, a waste. Learn not to be insecure about your dick, it's all you'll ever have. Be happy with it, your girlfriend probably is. Good luck. Thanks, dude. I definitely waste too much time worrying about things I can't control. I just gotta let this pass. Next Zoom call, change your name to The Flash. That's just too funny dude. I can already tell this'll be one of those late night stories I tell over drinks a few years from now. Lamau. The thing about being introverted / socially awkward is you think people judge you when in reality they pretty much don't care. Don't worry about it too much. You're probably right. I'm likely hyping myself up for nothing. I hope so, at least. Thanks for the kind words. Think about it this way, you made the class way more interesting for everyone that day. Some might say he really dicked up the excitement of class. Today I fucked up by exploding my ass at a friend's house. A few years ago I was at a friend's house, we'd been eating shitty food all weekend. There was a weird, lumpy feeling in my lower bowel that kinda concerned me. I finally had the urge to shit, so I go into the bathroom and sit down. I fart a little bit, and I feel the lump shift positions, as if gravity and intestinal peristalsis was finally kicking in. I feel this turd get in line and start peeking. It immediately stops on the threshold and refuses to move. I am concerned. I've had to grunt and strain before, but in this instance, after 5 minutes of grunting and pushing, this turd hasn't moved at all, and my butthole is starting to get fatigued. I've tried rocking back and forth, rocking side to side, doing my patented stir move around the rim, and I finally think to myself, I should check the texture, so I reach back and give the turtle head a quick rub. It was like running my fingertips over the disc of an angle grinder. It was dry and grainy and solid as fuck. I regret the shitty diet I've been consuming. I redouble my grunting and straining efforts, adding in a new move, grabbing one butt cheek and pulling it in the hopes that it stretches the cornhole, and finally, I feel some movement begin to occur, and this turd finally starts moving. Swear to you that I heard this turd scraping as it squeezed out of my butthole. At the moment that its main girth breached, my butthole began retracting and, I literally shot this turd into the toilet with a gusty shotgun blast of a fart. I swear to you, this turd clinked into the bowl. Felt a sense of relief, pride, and deliverance I can only describe as spiritual. I stand up to see the child of my loins and to make sure there isn't an umbilical cord to cut. I was only like 9 or 10 years old, and this turd was the size of a Coke can, and fucking muscular and veiny as a roided out bodybuilder on stage. I wipe and there's nothing. This turd was solid as fuck. It wouldn't flush. I had to poke it with the plunger until it broke into smaller pieces. Too long didn't read, should have brought a poop knife. I love how everyone just knows about poop knife now. I'm confused. A few months ago I was at a friend's house. But also, I was only like 9 or 10 years old, and this turd was the size of a Coke can. Proud of you for getting through such a difficult time. This is truly inspiring. So you fingered your own ass to see what the shit felt like. Desperate times. Today I fucked up by inhaling baby cockroaches. Like many posts, this happened a while ago. I used to live in an apartment with filthy roommates. Type who always left the sink full of dishes, the kitchen floor littered with food bits, and an inexplicably foul odor surrounding their rooms. Unluckily enough, the apartment complex also had a roach problem. Of course, they found our gross apartment to be a perfect home. I found out I'm allergic to roaches, and my allergies have always triggered my asthma. For this, I have an albuterol inhaler. I used to leave my inhaler under my bed in case of late night emergency. I was too poor to afford a nightstand and too naive to know that certain little demons would enjoy albuterol residue. I took a 4 a.m. puff when I was a little wheezy and felt a tiny speck go down my throat. I was exhausted, so I figured it was just albuterol buildup and went back to sleep. Come morning, I was wheezy again and took another puff. This time I got 2 little specks down my throat. I froze. I could have sworn I felt legs. Checked inside and sure enough there were 2 more of the little baby roaches inside, the size of small chunks of sea salt. As I said before, the apartment had a good amount of roaches, so I was positive it was them. You could tell by the antennae. Words could not describe my horror. I wanted to vomit, but if I inhaled them, what would even be the point? I tried to hack and cough them up, but it was too late. I just tried to pretend like it never happened. Felt like they left behind imprints in my throat that no amount of water could drown away. This was a huge factor in moving out of that place. I still haven't felt clean since. Luckily I smoke a lot of pot, so if they landed in my lungs they're dead for sure. Too long didn't read. I used to live in a gross apartment with roaches, which trigger my asthma. They laid eggs in my asthma inhaler at some point and I inhaled not 1, but 3 of them. I can still remember the horrible feeling of the legs. Doctor here, I would think that the roaches never made it into the lung but got stuck in your throat and you swallowed them. Otherwise those would be a strong trigger for coughing to expel them. Still a disgusting story, so thank you for that. This makes me feel so much better, omg. Jesus, I moved just before the pandemic and my new luxury apartment had a roach problem. My apartment was more or less as spotless as it could be. I think they were coming over from a neighbor. I had pest control out twice. Got rid of them eventually, but I still have PTSD from those fuckers. I literally have nightmares where I'll be in my apartment and start seeing cockroaches again and being like fuck they're back. God bless you for surviving to tell the tale of inhaling them. Roaches are deeply disturbing creatures. Being there. For about 2 years my parents' house had roaches and bedbugs because my aunt was a hoarder of things from Salvation Army. The PTSD is intense. You think you see crawling on a countertop and panic. You get a little itch in bed and panic. I'm sorry you suffered through that. It's awful. Oh God. What do you even do about roaches in your lungs? Google could not provide any answers. Hilariously enough, Danny DeVito's advice from It's Always Sunny was the first thing to pop into my head, and I filled my lungs with smoke like if I swallowed apple seeds. If I would to have been in your shoes, I think I would have passed out from horror and disgust. Oh God, I'm so sorry. I've no idea what I'd have done. Do not Google the following. 1. Does pot kill roaches? 2. How long do roaches survive in the human body? 3. Can baby roaches feast on lung tissue given a continuous supply of oxygen? 4. Can coronavirus get rid of lung roaches? You're welcome, you eval person you.